Welcome back to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Michelle.
I'm Rachel.
I almost was like, introduce me too. Anyways. Okay, so do you have any bookish news?
No.
Okay. Buy more books.
I was down for the count this week. So.
Oh, yeah. You got your, some teeth pulled.
Yeah. It's still.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good.
Okay. So that's
It's
probably,
getting there.
It takes time healing whatnot, because especially your wisdom teeth, it takes a little bit.
Yeah.
So I know you haven't read any books because you've been, down for the count, which I totally understand. I've read some. I've read 5. I can go through them quickly. They're all manga. So I bought a new bookshelf, and then I went through some of my manga as I'm like sorting through it and making it so it doesn't like too much weight on the shelves. They're starting to bend a little, so I can't stack the manga. Plus, manga is pretty heavy already because you can fit more books in like a hardback books.
Yes.
So I went through and I had to flip through a couple because I was like, do I want this book? So that
Usually the answer is no.
Well, I reread one of them and I was like, yeah, this is not for me. I can see why I didn't. Which was actually, I'm getting rid of the first 2 volumes. Not Your Idol. It was a psychological thriller. Basically shows like the bad side of fans where they can get a little too fucking crazy. And it was too psychological for me for it to be a good manga. If that makes sense. Like, I feel like sometimes like horror manga, yellow looks gross, but psychological thrillers are more of like the emotion it invokes, and I just wasn't getting that from that.
Yeah.
So
Thrillers are hard for me in general.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. In a manga form, it's just probably not the right format for me to read.
Yeah.
So I decided to get rid of those. I read Dawn of the Arcane, which volume 1. I only have the first one. It's an older one, so it was kind of cool. It was a 3.5. I was like, I gotta keep this one. I just don't know why I never continued it. But it's like forced marriage, enemies to lovers, kind of.
Okay.
And then I bought Winter Wolf, volume 1. It was a wrapped book. And that tells me
So it's
everything.
naughty.
It's very, very naughty.
Or gory.
No, it was very spicy from the get-go. Which I don't really understand why you wrap the manga, but then some parts are blurred out. Like, it doesn't necessarily
Show everything.
It's just like, here's some white light. Thank you. Which, I don't know why in some cultures, like, sure, you can show everything but the penis. Like, okay. It was fine. It was kind of confusing plot, but it was kind of a nice read. And then I picked up the next volume it's a long one. The Condemned Villainess goes back in time and aims to become the ultimate villain. So that tells you everything about the book in the title. I picked up volume 4, so I reread volume 3, and it's one of those isekai ones where she had a horrible death, went back, and she's like, you know what? Fuck everyone. If they think I'm a villain already, I'm gonna play the part and at least save the people I love.
Yeah.
So it's kind of one of those like weird, like, it's unusual in that series, kind of, because most isekais are like trying not to get killed. They don't care about like, but they were true villainous. So it's kind of cool. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, it was a lot, but okay. So we're ready to get into the podcast book.
Yes.
Okay.
So this week we read Sunbringer by Hannah Kaner, which is the second in the
Fallen
Gods
series.
The first one is God Killer.
Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna do like a super recap of the first book. But if you want to know more about the first book, check out our video.
Yes.
So basically, super short plot summary. It follows a young woman named Kisana who hunts gods, and she comes across Inara, who is tethered to the god Skedika.
Skedikath.
who nickname is Sketty, so I haven't had to say the name in a minute. She's a noble girl. Her whole family got burnt in a house fire due to some treasonous stuff. And so they embark on the journey to separate Inara and the god.
Sketty.
That's like a super.
And there's Elo, who is trying to help the king, Aaron.
Yes.
So they get mixed up in everything, too.
Yes. So they embark on a journey, and, going to go kill the fire god. Kind of.
Seth.
Yes. Okay. So that's kind of the first book as, like, a really super summary. Okay. You just want to go into it?
Sure.
So the first book, it ends with I'm trying to so Kisana fights the fire god, Heseth. Names are like terrible. Anyways, so yes, they have to fight Heseth. The fire god, as we're gonna dub, because, that's...
Well, there's multiple fire gods, which is a problem.
Yes. And they're both of them start with an H, which is kind of confusing. So we have Hestra, who is the god of hearts, fire. And then you have Heseth, who is the fire god. A fire god?
Yeah.
There's a lot. If you can be a god, you can be in this book. There is small gods. There are gods that I wouldn't even have thought of. So, anyway, sorry, I got a little off track. So Kisana fights the fire god, and to save Elo and Inara, because Kisana believes that Elo has to kill the king. Or at least have his revenge.
Because Elo's heart was going to be taken out of his body by Heseth for Aaron.
Yes, as the ultimate sacrifice, because she made the king believe that was the only way moving forward.
Yes.
And so Kesana kind of was like, all right, Elo, you better fucking get Inara home, and you better fucking do this, and goes, kind of sacrifices herself to fight. And she, pulls her into the ocean, and that's kind of the end of the first book. It kind of follows Inara and Elo, but we are to assume that she is dead at the end of the first book.
Well, kind of.
Yes, you're supposed to. Yes. And then, so, now that, because it kind of takes place, I wouldn't say right after the first, but no, it does actually. Because they make it back home.
Yes.
Home being where Kisana's home was with Tali and Yato. Yeah. Yato. Yes. Yeah. That's probably right. Okay. So that's kind of the first chapter kind of goes, and it's multiple POVs, kind of like the first one was. So you have 5 different character POVs in the second book. I don't remember on the first one. But, so it follows Aaron, who is the king. Elagast, who is the knight. Well, no longer a knight for the king. Yeah. But, he used to be the commander of the king's, I was gonna say
army.
Army. And then you have Inara, who is, the noblewoman that is tied to, the small god, Sketika. And Skettycath. Sorry. And then, of course, you have Kesana, who is the main character from the first book, who takes kind of a backseat in the second book.
Which is kind of disappointing to me.
Yes. But that's kind of... We'll talk about that with ratings.
Yes.
Okay. So, the first chapter kind of goes in with Aaron, and he knows that Hestha is dead. And then Hestra kind of is like, oh, fuck off. I don't need you, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of in limbo because that Hestra was his heart.
Well, he thinks he's gonna die, and then she kind of goes away, and then comes back.
Yes, comes back because, Faith, basically. So, I'm kind of going a little further here, but it's fine. So, one of the commanders or knights come and sees his heart, or non-existent heart, basically, because his heart is filled with a hearth where the god lives, Hestra. They were all in it for self-gain, all three of them, and then realized that the actual fire god, Heseth,
or
Heseth.
Heseth.
Yeah, that one. Kind of betrayed them, that she was only really in it for herself. So,
and as far as we know, Heseth is dead.
Yes. Kessina does kind of explain that it takes years for I wouldn't say fallen god, but a dead god? A god that doesn't have a form. So it takes years for, like, the faith of people to bring a embodiment of a god
back.
Yes. So she's like, yeah, I killed her, but she's not gonna stay dead. So, of course, Inara and Elo are traveling back and give the bad news to her friends.
Telly and Yatho.
Yeah, Telly and Yatho. Telly is deaf. She can only sign. And then Yatho is not wheelchair bound, but something's messed up with her legs.
Yes.
Okay. So, chapter 3, we find out that Kessina is actually alive. Which I was like, this is why I needed to read the second one immediately. I don't know if I read it immediately, but I did finish the trilogy, so I'm going to try not to bring in some information. But yes, so Kessina decided to basically call on Poseidon's, her father's, Poseidon's promise.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of weird. Because she had that on her and she had not used it because she doesn't like gods for obvious reasons. We find out in the first book, her whole family got sacrificed to the fire god that she not killed. So she kind of exacted her revenge, and just gods in general haven't been kind to her.
Yes. So she is with the water god, Osiris?
No. On. A-A-N.
No, she hasn't.
Poseidon.
Poseidon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
She's with
different
him
water god. I think
at the beginning.
Yes.
And he's like kind of helps her, but then he has people that come and like trap him.
Yes. So this is kind of the downfall of shit, actually. So yes, he gets kind of captured in a Bridite cage, and Kessina is like really worn. Her prosthetic leg is kind of hanging on, would you like? Which, yes. So he gives her a warning saying that war is coming, and to find An, who is the river god, I think.
Yes.
Not the water. To me, water people. I think Poseidon is the ocean, and then An is like a river kind of god.
I believe that's how it went.
Yes.
He also tells her that Heseth is coming back.
Yes, and she's like, no, man, that ain't happening, and, she doesn't believe it yet, but he's like, go find An. So, that kind of leaves Kessina there. We don't really see a lot of Kessina, which kind of irritates me a little bit, but it's fine. Because this is more focused on Elo, Inara, and the king has a couple of chapters, just not a lot.
It's more Inara and Elo.
Yes. And Scattercath. Kind of? No, I would say it's more Inara. Yeah, you're right. So, they get to the house. Elo is like, I'll tell them, and Inara's like, no, it should come from someone who they know.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells them that Kessina died, killing the fire god, and of course, Telly is just upset. And then Yathko is just like, well, at least she did what she wanted. She was stubborn, and she kind of got her revenge because they know what Hessena's followers did to her family. So they understood, but it was really sad.
And they kind of blame Elo.
Yeah, because she saved him, and they're like, well, why did she save you? And he's like, so I can kill the king. And they're like, oh, all right, okay.
Like, we gotta go talk to this innkeeper because
yes,
he was up to something in the last book.
Yes. So,
oh, also, Elo basically tells Inara that he wants her to stay with Telly and Yatho to be safe, and that she's not to help in, like, the war efforts.
Yes.
Which pisses her off.
Oh, yeah. I think she grows a lot in this book, and she just doesn't want to be told what to do. She wants to follow what she thinks is right. More power to you.
Yeah. And she doesn't trust Skedicath a whole lot this time, because he took over her body in the last one.
Yes. Kind of some hurt feelings, and them working through that issue. Elo working through that he loved Aaron. Platonically, I don't remember if they had something going on.
I don't know.
But he really thought that he placed him in power because he was the right call for the kingdom. And then, of course, now that he betrayed him, he's working through, like, his love and the betrayal from that. And so he has to resolve his heart, basically, to do what needs done. There's some... Yes. So, yes. Elo tells them about the innkeeper, who is... Kanban?
Caravan is how it was said in the audiobook. Okay.
Caravan. There is no... It's whatever. It's whatever. So they're gonna go talk to him because Telly was like, no, I sent him to you guys because he's trustworthy. And they're like, nah, he ain't trustworthy. So they kind of go and question him. And then this is where it goes back to the king, and Hestra has returned to his heart.
Yes.
And because she realizes that, this is where it kind of gets a little tricky, that the king is no longer the king at this point. He is now the Sunbringer, according to his commanders. And this is where the title comes in, which I kind of really liked. So Hestra kind of realizes that he could be a god as well, if that makes sense. Like, the king can be a god because they're worshiping him like a god, and in turn her. So she's like, oh, okay, well, this could be beneficial. I'm gonna hold it out, man. So that's why she mainly comes back, because they still don't know that Heseth. I got this, damn it. Heseth is back. They just think that they betrayed her, or she betrayed them, and she's dead to them.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I mean, she's technically dead now.
Yes. Technically, yes. Yes. So then it kind of goes back to Cassina, and she leaves Poseidon's, like, shrine cave. Because, of course, he brought her all the way back to where he lives, which is, like, I want to say it's, like, forever away from where she needs to fucking go.
Well, it's back to her home, is, like, where she was born.
Yes, which I do actually have that. Yeah, not even gonna say, not even gonna try.
What is it?
Shit, right there. Corza?
Sure.
Yes. That is, I don't even think it's on the fucking map, actually, because it's renamed now. Anyways, besides the point. So she kind of makes a makeshift, like, staff out of some things from his shrine, makes it to the town, sees that people are really upset about the fire god and her
shrines,
death stuff. So this is where I don't think we are there yet.
This is the stuff that I wanted to see more of, because she goes into this town.
Yes.
And she destroys the shrine for Seth.
Yes.
And then she keeps going, like, from different towns.
Yes.
And doing that. And you don't get that story.
No. Yeah. So, to try to make sure that Poseidon's warning doesn't come true, she tries to break down or destroy any of the shrines that are left of her. And I think this is the first town she gets into. She kind of realizes that her followers, Heseth's followers, don't mean business. They are killing other gods in her name. They are killing anyone that doesn't really believe in her or believes in other gods because they're traitors. They don't give a shit about the king at this point. Her followers are really hardcore cult followers at this point.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary. And then we kind of go back to Inara and they question the innkeeper, the innkeeper, Carvon.
Yeah.
Carvon. Anyways.
Because in the audiobook it sounded like caravan, and I was like, okay.
It's Can-O-Van is how it looks.
Yeah.
The innkeeper, as we're gonna say, because, audiobooks and pronunciations are not the greatest. So they question him and realize that he is working with a god, Lethet?
Yeah.
Who is the god of lost travelers. Who actually is also his mom. You don't find that out until literally, the last bit of the book. That comes into play a little bit later. The goddess, god, whatever. At
this point, you don't think there can be demigods.
Yes. Yeah.
So, putting that out there.
Yes. You're right. So then they encounter, or they reveal his, he's a rebellion against the king. So is Talio. Which she didn't tell her wife, and she's kind of pissed about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where everyone starts to, not get along. Even though they travel together. There's a lot of, I wouldn't say intentional betrayal, but
there's a lot of betrayal.
There's
also a lot of setup in this book
for the third
last
book.
one.
Yes, 100%. Which
is neither here nor there.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to my rating.
So this is where Inara kind of course, no one knows about her, divine abilities. They all think it's the god that is attached to her, Skedi. Yeah, we're just gonna call him Skedi. So she's kind of keep that secret so no one else knows. So it's kind of important because she can sense other gods and kind of bend them to her will, if that makes sense. Of course, she wants to kill the king, too.
Yeah, because she thinks the king set fire to her house and kill her mother.
Yes. Yes. She finds out, I think from him, the innkeeper, that Inara's mother was part of the resistance, and that he was responsible in some way of basically killing everyone.
Yes.
Literally, no one survived. Yes. Because they literally stood outside the fucking house and was like, we're gonna fucking kill anyone that comes out.
Yeah. And she was away at the time when it happened.
Yeah. She was finding Kessina because she's like, I have a god problem, help me. Of course, she couldn't tell her mom, so that's kind of, intentional betrayal, not really. So yeah, as Kessina is going through the towns trying to get to On, she's destroying shrines. Sometimes gets caught or has to fight her way out.
Which is a more interesting story than what Elo was doing this whole book.
We get a lot of Elo's feelings about everything. mostly about the king and how he feels betrayed by him, how he did everything he could to get him to power, and greed, kind of, or the law of power. He's no longer the king that he fought for, and that's where he was like, nah, after you try to take it by heart, like, we got some issues.
Yeah. Because all I wanted to do was bake. I wanted to be left alone. You came.
And he was apparently a good baker, so.
No, there's some points for him.
Yes. So Elo kind of forms a tentative alliance with some of the rebels that are in the town, and Kervon and the other like rebellion people. There were some people from the house. I didn't write a lot of their name down because like
I didn't feel like they were important.
Not that they weren't important. It was just in war books like this. Of course, there's going to be casualties.
Yeah.
So try not to get attached to people. My guess would be the best, kind of. So of course, Inara, through Sketty's like point of view, we kind of see that she's still not talking to him. She's still really hurt. Feels like everyone besides Kessina picked over her. Like, didn't pick her. Picked themselves over her,
yeah.
I guess is the best. So she's really reeling from the loss of Kessina because she really felt like she understood and would pick her. And she just feels guilty about the whole situation. Mm-hmm. And so we get a lot of that from Sketty, because, obviously he's like the god of white lies, so the lies that she's telling herself, he can hear.
Yeah. Well, also, I feel like Inara feels like she's alone in the world, because everybody else is like, has somebody else, and she wants somebody.
Yeah.
And Sketty kind of betrayed her in the last book.
Yes, so she's kind of trying to bring that trust back, but it's not there to where it was in the beginning of the first book, where they were really close. Like, she listened and hung on every word that Sketty said, and now that's just not the case.
Yeah.
So, building that trust back up takes a lot. So yeah. So then it kind of goes back to Kessina, and she's still drawing attention by destroying shit. I mean, she almost gets killed multiple times. Through her travels, this is where she's been true throughout the first book and up until this part, the chapter. Yeah. She has not killed humans. That is her whole thing. She is a god killer, and only a god killer. So she has not killed humans up until this point.
Yes. And
she had to, because, of course, destroying some of the shrines and the cult following, they're like, how fucking dare you? So she kind of gets into trouble, has to fight her way out, and accidentally kills I would say teenage boy, where he's not quite an adult, but not quite a kid.
And the god of the wind kind of helps her with killing this kid.
Yes. Yeah. So
she's pissed at the wind god.
Yes, she is mad, which, fair enough. But this is where you kind of see the physical toll that is taken on Kessina, where she has a prosthetic that still isn't working correctly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, she hasn't had time to be like, yeah, though, bring me a new one. Because she hasn't met up with them yet. So between that, all the fighting, she's just a little worn from wear. And so the wind god, who is Feria, takes her through the wind travel to the river god on. Yes.
And she's injured at this point and kind of like
yeah, she's
on her last leg.
Literally.
Well, whoops.
that was pretty damn good, though. I could have made the joke better myself. But yes, pretty much she is like not in a really good place, mentally or physically.
Sometimes I forget that she only has one leg.
Well, it never really comes up unless, obviously, this situation where, like, she fought the fire god. She's, like, traveling, trying to make it to On, trying to get back to her family. And, I mean, this is probably a good... I would say it takes them 23 days to get back to them. Or, yeah, Elo and Inara. So I would say at least a couple months. 2 to 3 months at this point.
That she's, like...
Before the end of the book, I guess. This kind of takes place after quite some time. Now that I think about it, 23 days for them to get back, and then it kind of takes place from there. So yeah, I would say a good probably month and a half, 2 months at least.
But she's been in the woods destroying things.
I mean, fair enough. So Canavan I feel like I said it weird, but anyways. Introduced Elo to some of the other rebellion people. English is hard today. But his loyalty lies with Inara at this point because obviously the king said, "Fuck you." They still think Kisana's dead, so Elo is trying to protect Inara as best he can, even though Inara doesn't really feel like she has anyone rooting for her.
Yeah. She feels like she just can't. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
yeah,
you can't do anything, stay safe. And she's like, no, I can help.
Yeah, like she wants to. Well, she's been sheltered her whole life because she really has some resentment towards her mom at this point. Her dead mom. And she's just like, my mom ran this whole fucking rebellion out of her house and I had no fucking idea. And it was mostly to save her. So if they got, which I don't know how that would work anyways. Like, if a whole, like, house betrays you, like, I think pretty much you're just gonna all get killed.
Yeah.
So, good try. So they meet up, kind of connect. Elo kind of was like, hey, so I'm gonna kill the king. Like, you wanna help?
Also, the king is moving towards where they're at.
Yes, which is Leska? Leska?
Yeah, like Jessica with an L. Lessica.
Yes. That's it. Okay, yeah. Leska. Yeah. Woo! So Inara, or Telly asks Inara to help her at the farm. So she works at, Telly works at the archives. I think they copy scrolls, write down the history as they know it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So
there's not...
what Telly is doing is she's taking some of the God scrolls that are, like, forbidden, and she's copying those and giving them to the rebellion.
Yes, for safekeeping. Because there's a quote that comes up later that I want to talk about. But, yes, so that's kind of her part in the rebellion. Of course, her wife finds out and was like, you just fucking talk to me. I don't care you did that. I want to support you, but I gotta know
what's going on.
Yeah, to protect us, really. I need to know what the fuck's going on. So that's why she's mad. Not because she thinks that Telly is doing wrong.
Yeah. Which
is kind of an important detail. Because,
well, I don't think Telly is doing wrong, because knowledge is for everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's just the fact that, you hid that from your spouse. And that's, that's the whole reason she's mad. So of course Inara's like, Telly asks Inara to kind of like be her translator, because some people know ASL. I would assume.
I don't know if it's ASL, but it's some kind of sign.
Yeah, some kind of sign language. Inara knows it due to her wealthy background, and not a lot of people have the spare time to learn that skill for to just talk to, Telly. So Inara agrees, but she kind of has her own agenda. The one thing she gets mad at people for, she does.
A lot this book.
Yes, a lot this book. So I think we're kind of we're not quite there yet. So Elo kind of goes to the house Yether, as the kind of the last great house, kind of, in Lessica. And he doesn't agree to... he agrees to fight with him, lends him his, like, kind of house soldiers. You meet his crazy son. Well, you meet his son, but he is pro the king. Oh, I'm sorry. Pro Sunbringer.
Yeah, when you basically have a cult as you're following.
Yes. So they send him away, because obviously the king's army is closing in, and he's like, you fucking go tell them that they can come on my land without fucking declaration of why they're here. Which I assume is some kind of rules.
Yeah.
So he leaves, and then he agrees to Elo's, like, yeah, I'll lend people for your cause, because the king is coming to take over the city, basically.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the archive was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the archive holds the knowledge of all the gods.
Yes. And he wants to be the only god, really.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. That's kind of where we're at here. So... Kissin gets to On's water source. Her shrine of places. Basically, On's like, yo, I know you want to kill the king, but you can't. And she's like, excuse me? And Kessin doesn't really believe the gods at this point. She's like, I don't... What?
She's like, why can't I kill the king? He's...
Yes. And she said, if you kill a king within a year's time, like, almost everyone's gonna be dead. Like, okay. And Kessin's like, okay.
It'll bring more full war
yes.
to the land.
Yes. So... She's like, I still feel like Kissin doesn't, like, believe at this point still. She's just like, eh. But this is where she kind of heals up. Because, goddamn, she fucking needs it. Gets food, kind of, like, actually relaxes for a little bit after being on the road for months. And then it kind of goes back to the archive at the Forum. They have a little bit of time. So Inara leaves Telly, and she's like, I'll be here. Be back, whatever. Mm-hmm. Kind of sneaks into the forbidden part of the archive.
We missed something.
Oh.
On the way to the Forums, Inara sees all these roses blooming out of season, and Sketty's kind of like, that's a god. So, and Inara, like, puts that in the back of her head. She's like, okay.
I didn't write his name down. So,
but he helps.
Yes.
It starts with an M, and I don't...
Yes, I don't want to write it down. Yes, actually I did, but we'll go over it a little bit later. Because I don't want to search through my notes to find... No. It's somewhere here. Anyways.
I just wanted to mention, there's a god that, like, makes roses bloom.
Yes.
I know it starts with an M, and I don't know.
It's M-I-K something. Oh, macaron.
That's definitely not it.
That's definitely not how you pronounce it. Macaron?
Sure, let's go with that. It's not macaron, no.
Yes. So it's a forbidden part that talks about the gods' history, and of course the king has forbidden gods, so not a lot of people are allowed in that part of the archives. So she kind of sneaks in because her main focus is to try to find information on Sketty, which they do find a little bit of information on him that and they talk to Skethka? Is it Skethka? The god of the archives or knowledge. Siska?
I don't know.
Anyways,
I wrote her down as the goddess of knowledge.
Yeah, archive. Yeah, that's kind of what I did. After they talk with her, they find out that Skedeka used to travel with Yusuf. Is it Yusuf? Who is the god of safe heavens. Safe travel.
Havens.
Yeah, haven. I'm sorry. Haven. You know what?
There's a lot of names in this.
You think as much as I read, I can pronounce it, but you know, I don't have to read it out loud. Anyways,
I make up nicknames in my head, so
wait, that too.
I'm like, it's that person.
Yes, I did say shit. So I actually kind of like this, his backstory, because he travels or basically shares the shrine with the god of safe haven. Because, you know, on long ships, they always are like, please, you know, make sure we get there. Mm-hmm. And it really works well in Skedi's favor because he's the god of white lies. And what do you tell yourself on a ship miles from home?
That everything's gonna be alright.
Yes. And so I really like that little, like, oh, that's a fucking good backstory. That's a really good, like, how he was born kind of into fruition. Like, gives me chills. Like, it's a really, like, I don't know, like, as I, you know, read it, I was like, oh, you know what, oh my god, it just makes so much sense. Like, obviously, people say white lies all the fucking time, but, like, where else would you have in situation of war? I mean, same thing. Like, you're like, you know, I'm gonna be alright, I'm gonna make it home, like, anyway, sorry. I just
the whole Odyssey theory.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
I'm a nerd.
No, it's just really, like, it's really powerful, I guess, backstory. That's kind of why I really like it.
Well, I like Skedi as, like, a character, as a little god.
Yes.
Like, he's, like, my favorite.
Yeah. So, the thing about the gods, so you know, say Hesta died, alright? They can come back if enough followers or enough belief in them. But they don't have any records or recollection of their past life that they might have lived. Kind of important. Okay. Sorry. Sidetracked, but important. Anyways, so the form's starting. Inara has to go back up because she promised to help Telly. So discussion kind of starts with, we are archives and the gods are still alive. And then there's another part where, you know, we keep their record. This is our law. And then you have some stating, well, the king's law is our law. So you have two sides to the story. You have people that really want to follow, there's no gods, even though there's gods.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Which the king, you know, that was his rule before he took over, or when he took over as king 2-3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
So that was his whole thing, and he's gonna go in a little bit beyond this with the whole Hesta and, you know, his harpy and I just lost her name, Hestra. So, but then of course you have the people that work in the archives, like, we record knowledge. Okay. So Telly believes, or at least states that she believes that they're being silenced. And so
Which they are.
Yes. Yeah, they are. So she comes up with, well, why can't we make copies so the knowledge can survive and kind of spread it throughout, you know, make copies, keep the ones in the archive because they hope to, you know, keep the archive running. But then also make copies, especially the ones of the dangerous, like, knowledge that they want, or they don't want people to know. And she's like, well, we need to make copies. And this upsets some people because they want, you know, they believe in the king's law and there should not be any gods. So keeping records of gods or stories of gods could bring them still back. So that's kind of the argument that Telly wanted to bring up. She doesn't really get into a lot of it because now they brought in that, well, the person translating for you broke into the forbidden part. So let's get the, you know, people involved and the knights that were there in the forum, even though they're not supposed to be. It's supposed to be open to any discussion with no repercussions, and that does not become that way.
No.
Kind of becomes a riot at this point. Telly and Inara kind of run off. They kind of get injured, not severely enough.
They meet up with, what's his name? Solomon or something?
Solomon, yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And somebody dies in this little riot.
Yes, it was an apprentice to someone.
Yes. But it ends with him, like, getting away, and then it cuts to Elio and Yatho about this riot, and, like, somebody died, and Yatho's like, well, I gotta go find my wife.
Yes, I love that. And Elo's like, I cannot carry your chair. And she's like, I don't fucking need it. It is really cool. In between that, it goes back to kissing, and Anne is like, or Anne, I'm sorry. She's like, okay, kissing, you fucking have to listen to me. And she's like, okay. And she's like, the gods are scared. And she's like, what? What the fuck you mean scared? She's like, we are scared of Hestra.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she's dead. Or at least not going to be a problem for a couple of years. And Anna's like, no, that is not the case.
She's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back sooner than later. And she wants Kissin to save Aaron, stop Elo/Inara from killing the king. And they're going to have to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Whoo! I wrote it down because it gave me chills. Because it is literally fighting fire with fire.
Kissin's like, how am I supposed to get there?
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And Han's like, I got you.
She's like, you remember the wind god, right? And she's like, no. And I was like, yes. Do you want to fucking get there or not? So kind of in between, obviously we have Elo, trying to find Inara and Telly. And then you have Aaron, who, one of his few chapters, he talks about how he is gaining faith from his followers.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And him showing Hestra that they no longer need Hestra. Sorry. Too many H names here. Anyways, that's literally all that chapter is. He's like, I told you, bitch. Like, we don't need her. And I'm like, yeah, but she betrayed you. You know what? It's fine. It's whatever.
Everybody is betraying everybody. Like, you can't trust nobody at this point. You
can't trust nobody at this point. Yes, you are right. Anyways, so Tally and Inara enter I think it's Solomon.
It's something like that. It's Solomon.
Yeah, I think I just forgot the N. If I spelled it incorrectly, it's fine. And his kind of apprentice, Cal's help. And Telly wants to get to her wife, obviously. Mm-hmm. She's like, I gotta go. And they're like, you don't really want to leave because they're gonna hang you kind of situation. Yeah. They're looking for her because they think she started the riot on purpose. Which we know it's not the case.
I mean, I don't know how somebody that you can't, like, understand. Like, there's a barrier there to start a riot.
I mean, apparently it happened. But, okay.
Like, most people don't know her sign.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. And the people that do did it because they cared about her as a person.
Yeah.
The other ones just didn't give a shit about. So, Sketty's like, okay, well, I can, fly around and see if there's anyone outside the house. So he does, and guess who's coming?
Elo.
So then, I had him right here too. The Maki Ron, the god of roses, kind of tells Inara that there are a lot of small forgotten gods left in, say the name,
Lessica.
And Elo kind of tells them about the stuff with the rebellion, that the king is coming, and on I don't fucking know how to say her name. It's this god of knowledge.
The goddess of knowledge is what we're gonna call her.
Yes, the goddess of knowledge's day. They celebrate her. They have for years, I assume. It's just her day. That he will be in town, and they have to make their last kind of stand here. So this is Kisana coming from the On and the god of wind flying home.
She thinks she's going to Lessica.
Yes, because that's where to stop Elo, she has to be where Elo is, which is not the case.
It's not where she gets dropped.
No. But he offers she has to give him an offering for him to do this for her. And so this is where she gets a ride from the wind god and offers her last Bridite sword. So
Bridite's what kills the gods.
Yes, so she literally gave them her last defense because blood wasn't good enough for them.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, the wind god's like, bitch, you can blood anyone. I don't want that. He does. He's like, you bleed for your family, you bleed for yourself. Like, that's not, It was just funny. It was just a funny, little, he's like, I don't want that shit. So, the day is here. And, one of the rebellion, her name is Nyla, decided to give Aaron a cloak, with a lion on it. And he's like, this is Aaron's.
He goes, I'm no longer the king's lion.
Yes, and she's like, but the lion is no longer the king's sigil, kind of, at this point. He is now the Sunbringer. So, this is where Inara, well, literally everyone, besides Elo, that thinks this is a good idea, wants to go into the archive and take as many of the scrolls that they can carry. That's their plan.
So knowledge doesn't die.
Yes. So that is their goal, is to try to get as much knowledge as they can, because obviously the king's coming. Obviously you don't know, or at least they don't know if he's going to destroy everything. Like, they just want to be safe than sorry, kind of.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So Kisana made it to his city, not the right city we needed. She landed in Sakra?
Yeah, Sakra.
Which is a 4 or 5 day journey, I think.
From Lessica.
Yes. And so she's kind of like, what the fuck? And
but Sakra is where the king is.
Yes.
It's supposed to be. That's where his castle is.
Yes. And he tells Kisana, like, this is where you needed to be, not where you wanted to be. Mm-hmm. She's pissed.
Which is foreshadowing what happens later.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. So of course the wind god kind of makes her land in pig shit. Because, they don't really like each other.
No.
Which I find hilarious. So of course, she's worse for wear. I mean, she did kind of relax and shower and stuff, and now she smells. Fuck him. He's a dick.
She also knows that something's happening in Sakura, because the town is weird. Like, there's not really people in the town.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit more foreshadowing. So yes. So it kind of cuts back to, I'm just going to skip the parts with Elo fighting because he's a really good fighter.
It's just a lot of fighting.
Yeah. Like, different strategies. I mean, he is a really good leader. He was the king's commander for a reason. So we got that. So I'm just going to kind of skip over a lot of those just because, yes, some stuff happens. So Inara and her companion go back into the archives, try to avoid detection, try to find, there's a trap door that they can open from the inside to bring in, like, tallow and I think Yathica and Solemn, right? Like
Yeah.
basically the whole squad
So-
minus Elo, basically.
Well, Elo has the Inkers, I think is what they're called.
Yeah, because that was Nyla's kind of rebellion. Her family owned a printing press, and she spread the news that way. As like a little act of rebellion. You can't tell who it came from. You're the only print in town, girl. Like, are you dumb? Like, anyways. Of course, the goddess of the archives or knowledge is kind of mad because she feels like they're stealing from her. And that's all she has left are these scripts, basically. Because
people don't really worship her right now because of
everything
the
with
laws.
the king. Yes.
Yeah.
So, she's kind of, I would say, desecrated. Like, really run down. Not basically a former version of herself because she's not getting the prayers that she used to.
Yeah.
And Inara kind of uses her divine power to be like, calm the fuck down. And it's like, we're trying to save as much of the knowledge as we can.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of talks her down from the ledge. And secures some manuscripts and preserve the history. And this is one of the quotes I really liked. So the goddess of knowledge says, "Why does it always come to this? That power changes and knowledge burns." I feel like that was a really, really powerful quote from her.
Yeah, it's very poignant right now.
Yes. And I just really like that because she has been around for years, centuries.
Yeah.
And she has seen history repeat itself with this stuff, and so she knows what's coming. And it's just like, no matter how much we avoid history, it repeats itself. You would think by now we would learn something, but it's not.
Yeah, but we don't.
No. Okay. Me.
Unfortunately.
Yes. Caravan, it can call forth using blood magic. His mom, or Lethea, he carves runes into his body, which is woo. So you kind of remember from the first book, or if you're gonna read the first book, I would suggest it.
You probably shouldn't listen to this when
Yeah,
we're
no.
reading the first book.
But the wolf shadow creatures are from him and his mom's power, kind of. So he kind of uses that to snuff out some of the knights and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted to bring it up because that was kind of cool that he's the only one that I've seen use blood magic, not sacrifices. Well, technically he uses both.
He sacrifices some stuff, but
Goats and stuff,
yeah.
yeah. But this is the first time where you kind of see him using. First, you see non-sacrifice of animals, I guess. They've sacrificed humans, but it's the first where you see that he is carving stuff into his own body for
his god.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of interesting. The first of his kind of.
Yeah.
And so they escape the archives, and Telly figures out that Inara is hiding powers besides Sketty. And now, because she was kind of pissed about the whole archive situation anyways, because she betrayed her.
I mean, yeah. She snuck into the archives when she wasn't supposed to.
Yes. So Telly was kind of just still pissed about that. But then she realizes that Inara needed answers about herself as well, and kind of understood why Inara did what she did.
Yeah.
Not the right way to do it, but it's fine.
She could ask for help.
Yes.
Telly would have helped her.
Yes.
That's the moral of the story.
This is the moral of the fucking book. Yes, I love it. Yes, it is pretty fucking accurate. This is where you kind of see Elo being a commander, if that makes sense. So, fighting comes to a stop. He doesn't want to kill some of the knights, and they kind of surrendered at this point. But someone from their side, the rebellion side, gets killed. And Caravan is like, I don't care, you tell me to stop. He killed someone else. And so Elo is like, no. If I'm gonna be commander, you're gonna fucking listen to me, or there's gonna be consequences.
Yes.
There were. So he kind of goes back to his old ruling, and it kind of talks about it a little bit. So first, discretion or offense, he takes a finger. The second offense, he takes a hand. I don't know if there's a third one. I don't remember after that. What else is like, damn, dude, like, fuck off, like, no. And that also kind of goes for deserting as well. So he kind of used that to, I wouldn't say fear, but as like there are consequences to your actions, kind of.
Well,
he doesn't do it maliciously.
Yeah, got somebody killed.
Yes,
because he wouldn't listen.
Yes,
is the moral of the story.
Yes. So he cuts off his fourth finger on his right hand. I don't know if there's significance to his fourth finger. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, so it kind of goes back to Kissen, and the king has left Sakra and making his way
to Lessica.
Kessena kind of gets captured. We don't know by who yet. So she kind of gets detained, and that's all we know of her right now. And then it kind of goes back to Elo. This is where it starts getting back and forth a lot. Obviously, a lot of moving pieces. Kessena trying to make her worse. She needs to be. Yeah, Elo fighting this war. Inara trying to help everyone. This is where Elo takes hostage the new king's commander. Because he decided, I'm gonna go in there and tell him to surrender. Like, I don't know where his thought process is with this. I have no idea. But basically, he's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take you hostage. And they don't kill him. They take him hostage, but he also lets it slip about the Sunbringer and how much power he is coming into because of the name Sunbringer.
Because he's basically a god in his own right at this point.
Yes, pretty much. Let's see here. Then you kind of go to Aaron, and he is in Lessica. Yeah.
Outside of it.
Yes, outside the gates, and sees his commander hanging. I want to say cut him down, but they arrow him down. Like, I feel like I would have to be a really damn good shot for be like, yeah, fire and cut him down. Yeah. I'd have to be a damn good shot. They do. He's still alive for now-ish. So it kind of goes back to Kessena at this point. And guess who captured her? Which was kind of I don't know, did you see it coming?
No, but I felt like they kept bringing her up. So it's like, there's something going on. We're going to learn something.
Yeah. So Inara's mom is not dead. Her name is Lessa, yeah.
Lessa
Craner, yeah. Yeah. So Aaron's still at the gate. Elo's like, okay, something isn't right here. Why are they not? Why? So he feels something. So he goes and check on Yethro's manor, and because he was the other main source in the village.
He's kind of like the governor of the
kind of
town.
So he gets to his manor, realizes that his son not his son, Yethro's son, the lord of the manor,
yes,
killed his dad because of the Sunbringer. He is like enthralled with the Sunbringer at this point, and feels like this is what's best for everyone. He killed his father, kind of took over, and forced the soldiers that was helping Elo to not help him anymore because he is part of the king, and Elo's fighting against the king.
So Elo's on his own.
Yes.
Kind of. With like 3 people from the Ingress.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. So, this is where kind of switch back to Inara, in case you forgot about her. Sketty, Telly, Yatho, Solomon, Cal are all trying to make their way out of the city. with the manuscripts that they stole. Before they kind of get out of there, some knights kind of stop them, and Inara asks the god of the canal to help
Another
them.
water god.
Yeah, another water god at this point. And he's like, okay, well, what are you going to give me? Because most gods, Skedi is kind of the exception, want an offering for their help. So Inara's like, okay, well, I don't fucking have anything to give you. Kissin told me not to give them blood. You want some blood? Girl! This is where we kind of see her blood is very powerful for gods. And we don't really understand why quite yet. Right?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
This is where it gets a little fuzzy for me because there was a lot of moving parts.
Yes, this is where it a lot of shit happens, and this is like the last probably 40, 20, 30,
20%.
20-ish% of the book. So a lot of moving pieces. Of course, obviously there's a third book, so we're setting up for the third book. So Inara's like, okay, she's helped them out with whatever power she has. And she wants to go back to help Elo. And she gets mad at Skedi because she feels like Skedi doesn't need her anymore.
Yeah.
That he has gotten offerings from other people believe in him. So she feels like, well, you're just going to leave me too. So I'm just going to leave you first, kind of.
Which is not a good policy, but...
No, because remember for the first book, they cannot be so far from each other before they both have...
separation anxiety, pretty much.
Yeah, heart palpitations. Obviously. So, she basically just hops out of the fucking thing and asks the god of the canals, like, hey, can you just take me ashore? And he's like, sure, your blood was good. Let's see here. So she goes to find Elo. And this is where it goes back and forth quite a bit. So it goes to like Kessina, Gethica, Elo, Inara, like just back and forth. So it kind of goes back to Kessina, and she tries to tell Inara's mom, like, hey, I fucking know your daughter. And she's like,
no, you don't.
I don't have a daughter. Like, what are you talking about? So she fact checks and brings receipts, yo. And she's still like, no, I don't believe you. Like, there's something, no.
I'm like, I'm gonna cut out your tongue.
Yeah, like, you're spouting bullshit. So she's like, okay, so she tells... So this is where Kessina she gets put back into the brink, kind of, and she's like, okay, well, if you're not gonna save your own fucking kid, I'm going to have to do it. It goes back to Skeg, and Telly's like, okay, here's a scroll that might help Inara. And he's like, okay. She's like, because you're going back to Inara, right? And he's like, yeah. So I think this is where Skedi kind of realizes, like, okay, shit, I don't want to lose Inara.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to kind of go back to what it was before. But you can't go back. Once you've ruined a relationship, it's hard to make it fit like it used to. But he knows that he wants to be with her no matter what she's doing.
Yeah.
So
she kind of feels that too in these chapters.
Yes. When he actually goes for her, she's like, oh, you are picking me. I think that's what she needed. I think she needed that self-sacrifice since the betrayal, kind of.
Yeah.
And then this is because Skedi realizes that Inara is his home. And he hasn't done a lot to earn that. And this is where he thinks that Inara is a safe haven for gods. That's what he thinks her power is. It is not confirmed.
Because she has something to do with Yusuf.
Yes.
Yes. Which used to be his old companion, I guess?
Yeah. He basically leeched off his shrine.
Yeah.
Kind of what he's doing with Inara. So that's what he thinks. Because things we don't know yet. So...
At this point, I called it. I was like, she's Yusuf's daughter. That's just how it is.
Yes. 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 So let's see here. Battle ensues.
Yeah, a lot of battling.
Yes, it's a lot. This is where it actually kind of gets interesting. Inara tells Elo, like, hey, okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna create a distraction. Fucking make it count.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Caravan also does he helps with his mom's powers, basically. It's like, to take over the city, they need to get creative.
Yes.
So, Inara, through the use of her hair as offering, because she had really long hair, and she really liked it because it reminded her a lot of her mom. And the nobility piece of that, because obviously if you're poor, you can't get the stuff to, like, do your hair, like, make it nice. So a lot of people have shorter hair. It was kind of a statue, or a status, basically, for Inara. So she's like, well,
this is all I got.
I don't need it, what else? So she kind of goes through the streets and asks any of the small gods if they're willing to help.
Yeah.
And this is a real turning point for the city. And for the king, but we don't care about the king right now.
A little bit before this, we saw the goddess of knowledge walk out of the city. Because she comes back. Aaron brings her back.
Yes. She, since it was her day, and after the whole, you're stealing my scrolls, Inara, says they're celebrating you. And she's like, I want to walk the street one last time. Because she feels like this is coming to an end. And so, Inara, on Legs, of course, had to bring him back. Love him. Legs is Kessina's horse, if you don't remember from the first book.
Who misses her a lot.
Oh, yes. So sad. So, accompanied by the Shadow Beast, the Fallen Gods, she takes to the streets and basically gives Elo the shot he needs.
Kind of.
Kind of. In between that, Sketty's using his gift to let them go undetected, or he kind of puts fear into some of the knights, like, you're not gonna survive, stuff like that. Just white lies. Which maybe not.
I don't know if that's
I'm not sure if that's a white lie or not, but fair enough. So then it goes back to the king has made his way to the archives, and is being stopped by bushes of roses, because Inara asked the rose god to help. So he's kind of blocked off the archive with these roses, and as they're cutting them down, he's with Inara's help, because she did give him an offering of her hair. I almost said blood, yeah. So anytime they cut it, it kind of grows back thicker.
Kind of like a hydra.
Yeah, kind of. Like, it's, the branches are, like, stronger, yada yada. So, of course, the king's like, okay, well, if you can't cut them down, fucking burn them. Like, duh. Anyways, it's fine. Not really, it's fine. When it goes back to Kissina. So she's locked in the basement, full of all these barrels of black powder, with nothing. She has the Bredite in her broken leg, but no weapons at all at this point. And I don't think she even has a Sidon's, dagger. She gets it back, but I don't think she has it at this point. So she's like, okay, well, I think she was about to give up at this point, really. And then she's like, no, I need to get to Inara. So she breaks her thumb, gets out of the whatever, breaks something. I'm not sure if it's her thumb. It has to do with her hand at some point. But she gets free. And then it just fucking goes back. Like, it literally, she escapes. And then it goes back to Aaron, I think we only have a couple. This is his last chapter in the book. And he is fucking pissed. He's like, how fucking dare Elo? How fucking dare him use gods against me? Like, he is like straight up pissed, okay, at this point. Which is, I mean, kind of ironic.
Yeah, I mean,
like, are you fucking serious, dude? Like, you
Elo
him
has
first.
every right to be
Mad
at Aaron.
100%. And so, yes, it goes back to Inara, and the knights are burning down the bushes. They end up killing the fire, or the rose god. I'm so upset with this.
Yeah.
This is like,
I was like, oh, not him. He
I
was
know.
just thinking roses.
I know, I was like, are you fucking serious? Like, it's just a rose god, like. But this is where Inara kind of really feels guilty about. She used her power to ask for their help, and then they got injured. So she's feeling guilty that she basically signed their death warrant without meaning to. But that's why she's so heartbroken.
Yeah.
On the scene. And then to top it all off, the chapter ends with Carvana basically dying. He went out fighting, though. He went out fighting, okay?
I mean, this last 40% is basically just war.
Yes. It is, yes. So Inara is still kind of, facing the consequences of her role in the war, basically. She really begins to question if she's done the right thing at this point. And then they're kind of cornered, and Inara gives Getty some of her blood. He grows into like a horse-sized hair, and flies them out, and they both fly to the archives because there's nowhere else to go at this point. The city has kind of fallen to the king, kind of being a loose term.
Yeah.
So, surrounding the archives, Nyla and the rest of the Inkers, which is like 50 to 60 people dressed in white robes, and they're saying that it's their city, not the king's, and sing the goddess of knowledge's song. She has some kind of hymn or whatever, and that's their protest. They realize they're fighting a losing battle, and she feels like this is the only way that she can fight back at this point.
They're standing up for the right to have knowledge, pretty much.
Yes, pretty much. And this is where it kind of gets a little this is where it gets a little rough. As the king's trying to kill the innocent people just singing, Elo is like, nah, this is not okay, guys. Like, so he kind of comes out of hiding, and he's like, no, fucking stop. This is not cool, bro. I mean, fair enough. So then it goes back to Kisana, and they destroy the king's palace, and trying to figure out where Anar's mom went. Like, shit happened after she released herself. Things blew up, shit happened, things got real. So she kind of tries to follow Les's path to figure out what the fuck's going on in that city. And then it goes back to Sketika's really weak from using a lot of Anara's gifted power from the blood. So he's like really like size of a mouse at this point. Tiny little like, oh, so cute. Anyways, and so some god killers, some Vegas, which is what a god killer is called, Vegas, have come to kill the goddess of knowledge and literally drag her out of the fucking archives. Kisana goes back to Elo. Aaron has finally made it to the archive, obviously. And trying to get more, like, this is where they kind of argue back and forth, because Elo's like, you fucking betrayed me. And the king's like, betrayed? I didn't betray you. You betrayed me. And it's like,
I'm the king. I don't care what you think.
Like, that part really, like, and I really truly think that the king is, like, delusional at this point. He is so out of touch with reality that he's just crazy. I don't have any other words. So they kind of go back and forth, and Kisana is trying to make Anara's mom see reason one last fucking time before she's like, okay, well, I fucking tried. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of. So Inara tries to save the goddess of knowledge, and she doesn't want that. The goddess doesn't want her to save, because Inara can speak to the gods via mind, depending on if she thinks of them. Kind of like she does with Sketty throughout the entire book. But she tells her, my time has come. We all have to meet our maker at some point. So she saves Inara by wrapping her up in scrolls, so she doesn't, like, show herself to the god killers, and the goddess of knowledge is out in the courtyard at this point. And this is Inara breaks free of the scrolls and starts to run because she has picked up. She's trying to go to the weaponry place. To get a bow, because she feels like, well, she can still do something. She can still say something. And the god of, what the hell is he? He is Kelt. Kelt is the goddess of shoes? God of shoes? I don't know. Something to do with shoes. He's a god of shoes, okay? He actually breaks her shoelace, so she can't be seen just yet. And she falls straight on her fucking face, and she doesn't understand why. And Kelt says, I'm just repaying the debt.
Yeah. He's trying to save her.
Yes. Yeah. He is trying to save her fucking life. And she is too emotional at the moment to realize that. And then kind of the battle of faith, kind of how I put it, between the Sunbringer and then the Lion of Leskia, which is now Elo. The Vagers are about to kill the goddess of knowledge, and Inara's like, okay, who do I shoot? Do I shoot the Vagar trying to kill the goddess, or do I shoot Aaron, the king? She ultimately picks the Vagar because she doesn't want to take Elo's revenge away from him.
Yeah.
And so she shoots one of the Vagars, kills him, and that's her first human kill. That we know of, that caused by her hand specifically.
Directly.
Yes, thank you. This gives Elo the opening to try to kill Aaron. The goddess of knowledge is dead, though.
Yeah.
And then as that chapter ends, you can see in the distance where Tello was supposed to go, where Tello and the rest of the peoples were supposed to find safe haven at Desmouth. And in the distance you see fire. And so Inara's like, oh, so the king has multiple wars going on. That's her thought process on this.
Which makes sense.
Yes, 100%. I kind of agree where it. So this is where Elo is like, okay, I'm hard in my heart, and I'm gonna kill the motherfucker. Like, he has been like hyping himself up this entire book to kill the one person he fought tooth and nail to protect at one point.
Yes. Because Aaron betrayed him.
Yeah, Aaron betrayed him, like, straight out of the
1,000% betrayed it. He was going to give Elo's heart to Heseth so he could become a god.
Yes, which is kind of shitty, but it's fine. He deals, they fight, deals a death blow to his non-existent heart, only to find out that it's Hestra's fake twig body of Aaron.
Yeah.
We saw this trick before in the end of the first book, where she made a copy of him with Elo at, I think it was Betha. It wasn't Betha.
Belhaven?
Belhaven, yes. So,
never learns.
yes, he's not really there. Yay. So then it goes into the last chapter, and this is where shit gets real. Like, it, boom, 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 boom. Inara comes back, sees Elo and Aaron, and Aaron's like, who is she? Is she important? I didn't bring her, did we? But he noticed that she looks familiar. And then, of course, Inara's mom shows up with Kessina, and of course Kessina's like, hi, Inara! She runs towards her, and they blasted their way in with some of the black powder from before. And they find out that, of course, Kessina gives Elo shit, like, so you're still causing problems here, huh? And he's
Always.
like, I see you're too stubborn to fucking die, huh? And she's like, So we find out that Aaron's real body never left Sakura. It's still there.
Which is why Kissin got dropped off there.
Yes. And then Inara held back Hestra's power because Elo was like, well, not Elo, the king, who's not really the king. It's his body. Like, this is where it gets a little bit confusing, like, because I assume he has, like, autonomy over the fake body, but also I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea. And this is where Kissin tells Inara, like, hey, hear me out. We can't kill him. Because, well, you can't kill Hestra because that would kill the king. And guess what? We can't kill the king. And Inara's like, why? Excuse me? Like, you gave up your life, in quotation, like, you're still alive, but, like, you sacrificed yourself for Elo to be able to kill him. And so Kissina's like, Inara, listen to me. And Inara's like, okay, let me take a step back. I know Kissin is only in it for me.
Yeah.
So she is more inclined to listen. So she gives an offering to An, so she can kind of explain, like, hey, why should we not kill the king again? And of course the king / Hestra is listening because they're still there, just being immobilized by Inara's power. The king actually realizes that Hesta had her own plans all along, that even if they had succeeded, she was going to cut him out at one point anyways. Yeah. And then...
and Heseth's going to come back.
Yes, yeah. And so they need him to help with Hesta. And then that's where the epilogue comes in, because the king explains to Inara that he did not send any other war or his people to Desmar. He's like, I don't, what? So that's kind of where Inara's like, oh, okay. So it's Hesta's followers that is fucking crazy and killing everyone. All the gods that they can come across, which did help Aaron's kind of like, kill all the gods.
Yeah.
But then the epilogue is Desmar is burning and Hessa is revived. And she has come back with a heart of Bridite, blood and flame. That's the Sunbringer.
Yeah, that's gonna set up
the whole third book, okay? Yes. So there's a lot to unpack here. There is a lot that happens in this book, and a lot of it is story building. So,
it's build up to the next book,
Yes.
pretty much.
Pretty much. And I feel like this one you kind of see more of the struggles of the characters. Inara actually really grows as a person, even though it's not really kind of in the right direction in the beginning. But there is a lot of character growth.
She's
for all
also
of them.
a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about Sunbringer before we go into the ratings? Anything you wanted to bring up or
Don't think so.
no? Okay. So I'm gonna refresh everyone's memory because I had to. Godkiller, my rating for Godkiller, the first book in the trilogy, was a 4.5, and then Rachel's was a 4. So, tell me what your rating is for the second book.
2.5.
Damn. Okay.
Listen.
No. Okay. I'm
So, a lot of this was built up for the third book, and I get that.
Mhm.
But a lot of it was just war. And, like, war strategy and, like, people moving parts to set up for different things.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't care. Because the first one was, like, a journey to someplace. Like,
Yes.
you had...
A clear destination
Yes.
in mind. Yes.
And this was just all set up to me.
Yes. I agree. That's why I gave mine a rating of a 3. Just because I wanted Kissana more. She was my favorite character in the first book, and I understand why she wasn't in the second book as much, but I also feel like we missed out a lot of what hooked you in on the first book.
Yeah.
Didn't really hook you into the second book. That's kind of that's why I gave it the rating I did. I was like, I read it for Kissana, and she was like 10% of the book. And I kind of liked her, like you said, her journey
Yeah.
to get back to where she needed to be, back to Inara. And it just...
You didn't get enough of that.
Yes. Yeah. And then Inara's mom thrown in the mix. Like, I'm glad her mom's not dead, but also...
I don't know if we need her.
Yeah, in the third book, she's in it a little bit more, but she doesn't have, like, a POV chapter. I don't think. I'd have to look again. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. As a trilogy, I really enjoyed it. So,
Well, I'm going to
leaving it
finish
there.
the trilogy.
Yeah.
I just prefer fantasy novels that are like journeys instead of like epic battles.
yes. Yeah.
That's where I like fantasy.
No, I get it. I mean, kind of had the same thing with, not the fourth wing, Onyx Storm? No, wait, that's the second one.
What's the third one?
Iron Flames.
Iron Flame.
I felt like that book suffered a lot from the same thing this did.
Yeah.
Which, the first book gave you a kick-ass story, plot line, journey. There was a path. With the second book in this trilogy, it was more like, well, Kissana has to get there. And then the other two are figuring out what they need to do war-wise. And it's just like, I get it, but yes, it's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at. So what magic rating did you give it?
It's probably going to be a 4, magic-wise, because of all the gods.
Oh yeah, all the gods. I gave it a 3.5. Same thing. Feel like at this point they should have like cards or something. No, I'm just joking.
I need illustrations of who is who.
Yes.
That would be helpful.
Yes. Yeah. I think it would have been really cool because, of course, and this is why I don't really. The cover of this book is Poseidon. So it's like he was literally in it for like 20, like literally 2 chapters, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why did they make him the center point of the cover? Is my question.
Well,
I mean, I get it,
they
but I
can't
don't
give
get
it away, and
I
you think
know.
that Seth's dead in the first one.
Yeah.
So,
But yes. That being said, I still think it was really well written. I feel like the characters got a lot of development. Which, I mean, you kind of needed it for
Yeah.
at least the third book. So, yes.
yeah.
That was Sunbringer. Okay, so the next book we're going to do this month I'm a little nervous about.
Yeah.
Eternal Ruin by Tissa Grima, right?
Tigris Grima.
Yeah, that one.
If we say her name wrong,
Yes,
we apologize.
Especially some of the character names. Definitely gonna butcher it again. Yes, so we're gonna do that one. That is the second book to Immortal Dark. I think it's just a Immortal Dark series. I
don't
have it
know
written down next. Yeah.
if it has a series title, if it's just Immortal Dark.
Yeah.
It's the second one.
Yeah, it's the second book to that. About vampires.
Vampire Academy, and not that way.
Yeah, no, definitely not that way. Vampire Academy is very, very vanilla compared to that. And I don't mean just... I shouldn't have said vanilla, because that sounds weird. Very
this
tame.
one's, yeah, more intense.
Yes, there we go. Thank you. A little bit more dark. So, we did pick our theme for February. Did we say it last
I don't know if we said it, but we spun our wheel.
Yes.
And we landed on witches.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Some of these are very loose interpretations of witches. But we're gonna go with it.
Yes.
If they have magical abilities, we're counting them as a witch.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're trying to still go for Rachel's TBRs and try not to buy more books since we have plenty we can choose from. So that's kind of why she said what she said. Disclaimer.
Well, sci-fi is a little harder.
Yeah. Sci-fi is always hard. I feel like that's our hardest one to cover our themes with.
Yes. So if you have recommendations,
yes,
send them our way.
Yes. That would be most appreciated. Because, sci-fi is more of a very niche. I feel like it very narrow genre. Where fantasy is like
very wide.
Very wide.
And very popular right now.
Yes, it is very, very popular. So most of the books are fantasy based. Romance, I mean, you can find that anytime, anywhere. Any theme, we got you. But yeah, sci-fi is probably the one that's harder for us to kind of fit into our themes, but we're going to try our damn best. So, these are also in order that we're going to read them, so make sure to get the book.
Yeah.
If you're interested. Okay?
We don't have one in the books, so I have to look up the author.
Oh, yes, I don't have that right now. So, the first one is our romance one. It's called The Hex by Erin Sterling. Yeah, that's our romance pick of the month.
And then our horror pick is Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix.
Yes. Then our sci-fi pick, which we don't have just yet, is The Girl Who Could Move Shit with Her Mind.
And that is by Jackson Ford.
Jackson Ford. Interesting. Okay. And then, yeah, sci-fi. This is going to be our fantasy pick. Yeah, because that was horror. Yeah. Fantasy is The Night and the Month by Rachel Gillian.
Yeah. Gillig.
So, if you're interested in any of those, definitely get them. Read them before our episode. Follow along.
Or none of them are sequels.
None of them are sequels, but yes, that was our thing last time, and so this one is gonna be witches. And I don't know if we'll put series back on the wheel. I don't know. We haven't really decided that yet. As of right now, probably not. Yeah. I feel like it was not that it was a lot. It was just, I mean, some of these books we haven't read for almost a year now at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it got us to complete some of our series somewhat further.
Yes, that is true. Yes. Because there were some that were just really interesting that, it is hard to find time to read everything you want to read. And still, have a life.
Yes.
So, anyways, sorry, it was a really long episode, but there was a lot to cover.
It's going to be a long one next week, too, probably.
Yes.
Because we gotta get to Susan Yost again.
Whew. Yes. And it's a little bit of a chunker.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm a little nervous, but
yes,
we're gonna get through it.
The first one was really interesting. This just came out in November of last year. So it's fairly new to the book market, kind of.
Yes.
So... And you guys really liked the first book episode, so we're gonna try
and do this one.
Try to not butcher everything in this one too.
The names are gonna be the hardest part.
I think I'm just gonna nickname everyone and just be like, Rachel, I nicknamed this guy.
That's fine.
But anyways, check out our next books. We still have one more to do, which is Eternal Ruin for this month, and then Witches, and we haven't done March yet, so it'll be okay. We'll get there, guys. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the episode, and obviously follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We're literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Give us a follow if you like us. Anyways, till next time.
Bye.
Bye.